Hey folks, I got a cute little rustic doily project for you today. And for those, before anybody says anything, I tried my best to keep the integrity of the doilies so I can take them off and reuse them if I ever wanted to in the future. I love me a good doily, and I definitely appreciate the work that goes into them. So I've had this frame, it's pretty thick, for a few years. I had two of them. I'm trying to think what I did with the other one. I'm not sure. And I am dry brushing with the color Vintage Duck Egg by Dixie Belle. And I showed a lot of this, and I didn't speed it up too much because I've had lots of questions lately on how do you dry brush. It's fairly simple. You're basically not painting the entire surface fully. I like to go over my dry brush twice, and the second coat, I try to go over where I've already painted, and it's okay if it, gets extra. Obviously, you can't get it perfect because you are dry brushing it. You can also sand it when everything is all dry, and that kind of really melts everything in together. And I do recommend that. It is messy. I did not do it in this instance because I thought it looked pretty good as is. So I have some random doilies that I've picked up over the years. I've been gifted some, and I wanted to pick out 6 that weren't too big, kind of similar but yet different. So each slot was, a little bit different. At first, I thought I was just going to staple them all on, and it doesn't end up working out that way. The staple I thought was the best bet because that way I could staple in a certain area, and then I could just pry it out with a screwdriver when, if I were to want to reuse this, or I wanted to take whatever. I was just trying to keep the integrity of them, but it didn't work out that I could use it all the way around. But this is like a very simple project, but I think it's really adorable. It's unique. I don't really think two doilies are identical, so that makes it kind of neat as well. I wish I might learn how to crochet one day. I've always wanted to, and I've been intrigued by it, but I never really sat down to give it a try. Like, I need another project, right? But I definitely appreciate a crochet because they're beautiful, and there's so much that can be done with them. So this stapler's funny. A lot of people are going to be like, you're using the staplers backwards, but that stapler is actually backwards. It's much easier to see what happens. So the sides are flopping down, and that's not really a good look. And then you can see the doily's a little bigger than the square, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do there, but it ended up working out in the end. So staples, hot glue, and a little bit of masking tape, and this baby's ready to go on the wall. Oh, now this wouldn't be something I would sell. This is for me. I mean, I would never put something out that janky. I would have aborted the mission by now. If this were something to sell, or I would have had to cut them, and I don't think I have the heart to quite do that. I can only cut them if they're like, there's no repair, they're stained, they're just, yeah, and that one fell too. So I was like, okay, now what? Now what do we do? I did have those, I don't know what they're called. They're like sticky dots, glue dots maybe. And I tried that off camera, and that didn't really work. And then I had this really thin two-sided tape. It was like a roll-on. It wasn't strong enough to hold it. So I just did a tiny dab of hot glue. That way I can just pull it off, and the glue will be in a little ball, so I'll be able to remove it. So no harm done here. No harm done at all. Again, I'm still facing the issue of them overlapping one another and going into the next section. But you'll see my my really amazing masking tape ingenuity at the end of this one. So I think this is great. This would look so pretty like in an old frame. I mean, really any frame, even one doily in a frame. So I got it. The glue worked. Now look at this mess. Even one doily. I would love to have a giant wall and just have all different shapes and sizes and colors of different doilies, like in embroidery hoops. I just think that looks so pretty. So much you can do with these. Yeah, so this is it. So I'm hoping once I get it on the wall, everything will be, pressed against the wall, so nothing should fall. The tape might very well give after time, but I think if it's on the wall and everything's kind of stuck in place, it should be all right. Hey, a little off camera there. If you have any suggestions on what else I should have done here, I guess I could have used pins. Didn't think of that till right now. Pins, what else? I wouldn't want to use like anything to mess up the fabric, but It would have been easier if I just didn't care so much about the doilies. Look how pretty that is. I think that's just absolutely beautiful. Someone took the time to make those by hand. Like, you have to appreciate that. Some have a little bit of stain in them too, but you can't even really tell now that they're all together. So I hope this inspired you in some way. I hope it clears up how to dry brush. Really simple way to do it. Thank you so much for watching.